there is a quiet truth few wish to face. Most men move through life chasing approval, from peers, from the world, from fleeting standards. Many live under the invisible weight of expectation, fear, judgment, and compromise. They reshape themselves to fit molds, to be liked and to be accepted. But there is another kind of man, one who walks with unseen purpose, one who does not bend for applause, one who is at ease with solitude, with integrity, and with a deeply anchored sense of self. He's rarely understood. He's often mistaken. He is, in the eyes of many, disruptive, provocative. This video is not for everyone. It may unsettle the timid. It may offend the dependent. It may irk the insecure. Because the truths spoken here are harsh only to those who have built their foundations on shifting sands. Yet to the rare few, those who carry more than a fragile identity, who stand on principles rather than opinions, who remain steady in storms, this message resonates. It affirms the path, even if it unsettles the crowd. Over the next few minutes, we will explore 6 truths about masculinity, high value, and inner sovereignty. Truths that most will reject, but only the Sigma-minded can truly internalize. If your foundation is built on fears, ego, or empty validation, you may feel irritated, defensive, or perhaps even angry. That is acceptable. Let that discomfort point. But if your spine is unyielding, your vision long, and your compass internal, sit with me. Watch patiently, listen deeply. Because while 99% of men may not make it through, you might. And if you do, these truths may sharpen you, awaken you, and orient you toward a more real, more mature way of being. This is not about hype or bravado. There will be no noise, no false promises, just calm clarity. Let us begin. Number 1, the truth that you are rarely understood. Many will call you aloof, cold, or unfeeling, not because you are, but because you reflect what they lack. Human beings are wired to project their insecurities onto others. Psychologists call this projection bias, a mental shortcut where we attribute our own emotions or limitations to someone else. When people see your calm composure, they interpret it through their own emotional chaos. Your silence makes them uncomfortable because it forces them to face their own noise. They call you distant when in truth you're simply grounded. This misunderstanding is common for Sigma males, men who operate outside traditional social hierarchies, while others crave validation and constant interaction. You thrive in independence. You're not driven by applause, but by purpose. Modern psychology recognizes this behavior as self-differentiation, the ability to maintain your sense of identity even when surrounded by pressure or disapproval. It's a trait of emotional maturity, not arrogance. Yet those who depend on social reinforcement can't comprehend it. To them, your refusal to play by the usual rules feels like rebellion, even a threat. Your focus is not detachment, it's discipline. While others scatter their energy across 1,000 shallow interactions, you invest deeply in a few meaningful pursuits. Neurological studies show that solitude can enhance creativity and emotional regulation. The brain's default mode network, active during quiet reflection, helps you process information and strengthen intuition. So when you retreat into silence, you're not avoiding life, you're mastering it. A Sigma male understands that not everyone is meant to understand him. He realizes that true connection requires resonance, not reach. You don't seek universal approval because you know authenticity filters your circle. It's not about being hard to read, it's about protecting what's sacred. You guard your energy the way a monk guards his peace, intentionally and without apology. Your calm presence becomes both a mirror and a measure. It reveals the insecurities of the insecure and comforts those who are equally grounded. So when they say you're cold, remember, it's their discomfort speaking. You've simply chosen clarity over chaos, solitude over superficiality, and peace over popularity. This isn't a flaw, it's your filter. In a world addicted to noise, your silence is your strength, your focus, your freedom, and your composure, your quiet rebellion. And those who can't handle that will never understand that power often whispers. It doesn't shout. Number 2, you cannot be measured by popular metrics. Popularity, fame, influence, social circles, external validation. These are the currencies of a noisy world, but they hold little weight in the life of a Sigma male. He walks outside the metrics that society worships. While others chase numbers, likes, and applause, he measures himself against something far deeper: integrity, purpose, and the quiet discipline that no one sees. In a culture where being visible is often mistaken for being valuable, the Sigma male understands that silence can carry more strength than shouting ever could. True value for him begins where pretension ends. It is not about what he shows, but what he sustains. Integrity is his foundation, doing the right thing even when there's no audience, no praise, and no recognition. Psychologically, this reflects what researchers call internal locus of control, the belief that one's outcomes depend on inner choices and effort, not on external circumstances. People with this mindset tend to be more confident, resilient, and independent thinkers, traits that define the Sigma identity. Presence is another key element. In a distracted world, presence is power. A Sigma male doesn't need to dominate the room. He commands it by simply being grounded. This state of calm awareness, often linked to mindfulness in psychology, increases emotional intelligence and self-regulation. Instead of reacting impulsively, he responds deliberately. This emotional mastery is what keeps him steady when others crumble under stress or ego. Purpose, too, is his compass. While many drift in search of validation, the Sigma operates with quiet certainty. Studies in motivation show that intrinsic goals, growth, meaning, and contribution, lead to higher fulfillment than extrinsic ones like money or fame. The Sigma's fulfillment comes not from applause, but from alignment, doing what feels right, even when it's hard. And when the world counts social proof, he counts consistency. His discipline is invisible, the unseen hours of work, reflection, and improvement that no one claps for. Yet it's this invisible labor that builds his visible strength. His standards are internal, not dictated by trends, but shaped by timeless values. So yes, you may lack numbers, you may not have a cheering crowd, but your worth isn't measured in followers, it's written in your quiet persistence, your unwavering principles, and the unshaken calm of a man who no longer needs the world's approval to know his own value. Number 3, you reject emotional conformity. Many people will demand that you feel, behave, and respond in ways that align with their emotional expectations. They want you to validate them, to reassure them, and to mirror their moods so they feel seen and understood. But a Sigma male, the man who walks his own path, understands a powerful truth. Emotional maturity means you are not responsible for managing the emotions of others. You can care without conforming, and you can feel deeply without being ruled by those feelings. A Sigma male's emotional restraint is not coldness, it's control. In psychology, this is often referred to as emotional regulation, the ability to manage one's emotions consciously rather than reacting impulsively. It's a sign of higher emotional intelligence, and studies show that people who practice it tend to experience greater stability, less stress, and better relationships. Sigma males excel here because they understand that peace of mind is a currency more valuable than approval. They don't suppress emotions, they master them. They know when to speak and when silence is wiser. They know when to engage and when to retreat. This self-command often confuses others. People who depend on external validation see emotional independence as rejection. They think distance means disinterest, when in truth it's discernment. The Sigma male knows that not every battle deserves his energy, and not every emotion needs to be shared. Instead of reacting to every emotional tug, he observes, reflects, and chooses his response deliberately. This discipline makes him unshakable in chaotic situations and mysterious to those who crave constant reassurance. Socially, this can be unsettling. Many individuals are conditioned to measure connection by emotional display. They expect visible empathy, dramatic reactions, or verbal comfort. When they encounter someone who doesn't perform these scripts, they misinterpret it as arrogance or detachment. But emotional maturity isn't about detachment. It's about self-preservation. The Sigma male knows that constantly catering to others' feelings can drain his vitality and compromise his authenticity. And that's why his quiet confidence often offends. People accustomed to emotional control over others find no leverage with him. His calmness disrupts their need for validation. His composure exposes their instability. Yet this is his power, the ability to remain centered, composed, and unbothered in a world addicted to emotional chaos. The Sigma male teaches us a vital lesson. True strength isn't in reacting to everything that moves you. It's in mastering yourself so completely that you choose what deserves your energy and what doesn't. Number 4, you hold yourself to invisible standards. Ordinary men chase after visible milestones. They compete over who has the biggest house, the most followers, or the flashiest achievements. Their worth is often built on external validation, applause, comparison, and approval. But Sigma males operate differently. Their compass points inward. They hold themselves to invisible standards that have nothing to do with how the world perceives them. To a Sigma, integrity isn't a public performance. It's a private code. His discipline doesn't depend on an audience, and his respect for himself remains even when no one is watching. Psychologists describe this as intrinsic motivation, the drive to act based on personal values rather than external rewards. It's what separates those who seek recognition from those who seek mastery. When a man is intrinsically motivated, he works just as hard in silence as he does under the spotlight. He doesn't post his grind online to prove his worth. He does the work because it's aligned with who he is. This is why Sigma men often seem mysterious. They don't advertise their progress at all, but it shows in their results, in their calm, and in their unshakable confidence. The real measure of character isn't seen when life goes well, but when everything falls apart. When a man loses his job, his reputation, or his relationships, how he responds defines his strength. Sigma males maintain dignity in chaos. They understand that control isn't found in circumstances, but in self-discipline. Studies in emotional resilience show that people who cultivate self-regulation, the ability to manage emotions and stay composed under stress, are far more likely to recover from setbacks and thrive long-term. This quiet endurance is the Sigma's signature power. Imagine a room with no applause, no recognition, and no validation. Most people would stop trying, but a Sigma keeps going. His standard remains the same, whether seen or unseen, praised or ignored. He lives by principles, not popularity. His success doesn't depend on who's watching. It depends on his own reflection in the mirror. That's the essence of invisible strength. While the world celebrates loud victories, the Sigma celebrates quiet consistency. Because in the end, it's not what you do when everyone's watching that defines you. It's what you do when the lights go out and the only audience left is your conscience. Number 5, you understand that freedom isn't popular. True freedom is not a gift wrapped in ease. It's a fire forged through trial. It is the quiet privilege earned by those who choose self-mastery over validation, purpose over pleasure, and solitude over conformity. To walk freely as a man, especially as a Sigma male, means to carry the weight of independence without complaint. It demands solitude, not the loneliness that stems from isolation, but the stillness required to hear one's own mind amid the noise of the world. In that silence, a man meets himself, his fears, his truths, his weaknesses, and learns to master them instead of running away. Most men chase acceptance. They want the warmth of crowds, the applause of peers, and the reassurance that they belong. But the moment you crave the crowd, you hand over your power. Freedom, in contrast, thrives on boundaries. It's the ability to say no when the world demands yes. It's knowing that comfort is often the disguise of control. In evolutionary psychology, humans are wired for social belonging. It increases survival chances. Yet history's great reformers, thinkers, and visionaries, from Marcus Aurelius to Nikola Tesla, proved that solitude is the soil where genius grows. They embrace silence not as emptiness, but as clarity. The Sigma male understands this paradox deeply. He knows that sovereignty carries conflict as its shadow. To think differently means to be doubted. To move alone means to be misunderstood. But he accepts that tension as the price of authenticity. Every man who ever broke free from mediocrity had to first endure resistance from others and from within himself. It is in those unseen battles that character is built. The Sigma's struggle isn't about conquering the world, it's about conquering himself. True freedom, therefore, isn't the absence of responsibility. It's the power to choose your responsibilities wisely. It's the courage to lose what doesn't align with your path, be it people, comfort, or approval. In a society addicted to noise and external validation, silence becomes rebellion. A Sigma male learns to draw strength from it. His solitude is not a cage, it's a crucible. Every moment of loss refines him, every unseen struggle strengthens him. And when the world finally wonders how he became so calm, so unshakable, the answer will be simple. He chose freedom and paid its price. Number 6, you focus on legacy over agreement. Many men spend their lives trying to win arguments, to be liked, or to gain the approval of others. They crave validation as a sign of success. But the Sigma male operates on an entirely different wavelength. He is not driven by recognition, but by quiet excellence. While others debate to prove their worth, he focuses on building something real. his legacy, his craft, his purpose. He understands that words fade, but results endure. This mindset mirrors the philosophy of the Stoics, who taught that character and action define a man, not his reputation. The Sigma male doesn't beg for approval because he knows that true respect cannot be demanded. It must be earned through consistency and integrity. Instead of seeking attention, he plants seeds, ideas, habits, and projects that grow over time. Like an architect sketching a masterpiece in silence, he measures twice and acts once. This patience and precision often set him apart in a world obsessed with instant gratification. Psychologically, this aligns with what researchers call intrinsic motivation, where a person acts not for external rewards, but for the satisfaction of mastery and purpose. His movements are deliberate. He observes before he speaks, listens before he leads, and acts before he boasts. In a sense, the Sigma male is the embodiment of quiet confidence, someone who understands that legacy isn't built in the spotlight, but in the shadows of steady effort. In time, his work becomes undeniable. The right people will see it, value it, and align with it. The wrong ones, blinded by noise and envy, will miss it entirely. And that's perfectly fine with him, because he was never working for their approval in the first place. These 6 truths may strike at the core of who you think you are, and that's exactly their purpose. Growth rarely comes wrapped in comfort. It often arrives disguised as discomfort, as moments that challenge your pride and strip away false layers of identity. Modern masculinity often glorifies status, dominance, or validation from others, but genuine strength is quieter. It's found in emotional discipline, purpose, and the ability to act with integrity even when no one is watching. Psychology calls this doing what's right because it aligns with your values, not because it earns applause. The more you root yourself in this inner sovereignty, the less the world can sway you. Let your actions, not your words, speak your evolution.